Back again live. Just me at the moment. Caleb is going to join me. Caleb AJ, sorry. He has many aliases. He's going to join me, and I'm not sure about Judah, if he's going to be in or not, but we're going to be here for a little while of day 2 of the draft, rounds 2 and 3. I think this is the most excited that I have ever been about rounds 2 to 3 of the draft. Part of it's because the Colts didn't have a first-round pick this year. They traded their first-round pick for DeForest Buckner. But they do have 2 high second-round picks. They've got 34 and 44, which is the second pick of the second round and the 12th pick of the second round. So I'm really hoping that they can maybe get a guy like Michael Pittman, who I think is underrated this year in a deep draft with a lot of receivers. And he's also, I think, a good character fit for the Colts. So we'll see what happens. They have the second pick. Like I said, the Bengals are up first. Apparently there were a lot of inquiries of people trying to trade up to the Bengals pick, and the Bengals rebuffed that. So if that's true, then I imagine there's probably going to be some guys trying to trade up to the Colts pick instead. And Chris Ballard likes to trade. He likes to trade back. He's sort of like Bill Belichick and the Patriots. He likes to trade back, accumulate more picks. The reason that the Colts have this second pick of the second round in the first place is because they traded back last year out of the first round with Washington. They picked up Washington's second round pick this year, ended up being second overall. So that was a good deal for them. So it can be a little bit of frustrating in the short term when your team's there and you're hoping to see them get the best player on the board. But, down the road, it can pay huge dividends. But, at the same time, I would really like to see the Colts pick up a talented playmaker. They've addressed some needs on the defensive side of the ball with DeForest Buckner. They signed Xavier Rhodes. Darius Leonard, their really talented linebacker, is going to be going into his third year. So I feel like they need some more weapons for Phillip Rivers. They have a lot of solid wide receivers to go along with T.Y. Hilton. They don't really have sort of that big lanky guy who can kind of be a star for them. So we'll see what happens here. Let's see here. Just making sure everything's up and going, and looks like it is, because I'm not normally the one doing this. Normally it's AJ or Judah, so I'm flying solo for the moment. There we go. All right. Yeah. Let's see. Here we go.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, good.
Okay. All right. Do you know if Mr. Jude's going to be joining us or not?
I am not sure. I told him, and so I'm not sure if he's. He sounded like he was, but I'm not positive.
All right. What YouTube channel is this streaming to?
Is it streaming to ours?
I don't know. Are we live right now? Oh, we are.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. All right then.
Yeah.
Cool.
I was just making sure that I wasn't off on that, but yeah, I did set it up to go to ours.
All right,
so I just blabbered a little bit for a couple of minutes until you got in here. So
all right. Hey everyone.
So yeah. Apparently there were a lot of people. I was talking about how apparently there were a lot of people who tried to move up to the Bengals pick, this top pick of the second round. Yeah,
interesting.
And the Bengals would not play ball with them. So
that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, but the Colts, if the Colts get a good offer, they will. And so, I want them. Like Chris Ballard's like Bill Belichick. He loves to trade back and pick up more picks. Like the only reason that they have this second pick of the second round in the first place is because last year the Colts traded back out of the first round, let Washington move up into the first round. I don't remember who Washington even took with that pick, but this is actually Washington's pick. And so,
man, I forgot about that.
So it can pay big dividends down the road, but it's kind of frustrating when you're wanting your team to, get the best player on the board in the moment. So
yeah, that's true. What do you want them to do? You think? What do you think the Colts should do?
I want them to take Michael Pittman, the receiver out of USC. Or I would be okay with Denzel Mims too, the receiver out of Baylor. I think he's a little bit more raw. I think he's got more bust potential. Michael Pittman is just, I think, severely underrated because he doesn't have great like top speed, but I think he was like top 3 in the shuttle and the cone drill at the combine. So he's one of those guys that, he can move, but it's just like, he's not going to win a straight line track race,
Gotcha.
And, big guy. He's the son of an NFL running back, Michael Pittman Sr., who played for the Cardinals before your time, but not mine. And so he played for the Cardinals. I remember him. He was solid. But so Pittman's got a good pedigree, seems to be a good high character guy. I mean, he just ticks all the boxes for the Colts. And they need a big wide receiver. They've got T.Y. Hilton, the, little speedy guy. He's hurt a lot. And then they've got a ton of solid complementary wide receivers around him. Ryan N. I see Ryan N. commenting. He says his order of preference for the Bucs is McKinney, Swift, Dobbins. So he's big on running backs. Delpit, Winfield, getting some DBs in there. Apenza, Gross Matos, not familiar with that guy. Mims and Pittman. I don't know that the Bucs need. Ryan, do the Bucs really need another receiver though? They could use a slot receiver, but where else are they going to put another guy on the outside with Evans and Godwin? You're just being greedy. You leave those wide receivers alone and let my Colts take them.
See, I do think the Bucs, if Swift falls to him though, because I know Edwards-Helaire got picked last pick of round 1 somehow. But Swift on Tampa would be frightening to me. That'd be really nice.
Oh yeah. I would completely understand. I think, and Ryan did put those receivers at the back end of his wish list. But I think receiver. I think the Bucs have just other priorities. They can probably, maybe they can get a guy who could play slot, later on, or I don't know, find somebody in free agency, trade for Julian Edelman, who, we'll see. But I think I would be shocked if they went receiver, and didn't go running back or some other position. So I'm just really curious now. Now I'm curious to see who the Bengals were. So if they were getting all these trade offers, who they were so set on staying there to take, or, we'll see. They haven't put their pick in yet. So maybe they're just trying to drive up the price or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, because I really think Cincinnati could also use a wide receiver as well, because I know they've got Ross, and I know they've got Boyd, and I know they've got Green, but 2 of them get injured every 3 weeks, which isn't a good thing.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It's like I'd say either O-line or wide receiver if I am Cincinnati right now.
I would be shocked if they went wide receiver. I mean, if they'd let AJ Green go, but I don't know how you keep AJ Green and then draft a wide receiver too. So, but it's the Bengals, but you never know. But maybe there's a good tackle still on the board. The guy out of Houston. Maybe they want to be like the Dolphins and get some help, some protection for Burrow the way they got the way the Dolphins got some protection for Tua with one of those later picks. Surely. I mean, receiver just seems like such a luxury for them. And I mean, with those guys that they have, even though they are injury prone, like, I don't know if you're going to keep them, then you have to just hope that. I think you keep them with the hopes that they're going to actually somehow eventually luck into staying healthy.
Yeah. What's it called? Ryan N is now trashing Jonathan Taylor. He says, "How do I change my name to Don't Draft Taylor in the chat right now?"
Interesting.
Ouch! You're not a big fan of Jonathan Taylor, are you?
That's interesting. Yeah, it's funny like to see the running back preferences in this draft because I never saw anyone saying that CEH, the guy that the Chiefs drafted from LSU, that he was going to be the first receiver off the board. Like I never saw him in the conversation anywhere to be the first receiver off the board. Now, I think that's a great fit for Kansas City. I'm not knocking it, but just people were saying Swift, Taylor, Dobbins. So that was just one of those draft curveballs. So
yeah.
Well,
you got to think Cincinnati's had a day to make their pick, and they still take up those 7 minutes.
Right. Yeah. At least it's shorter than the first round. That is one thing. Honestly, I think for the first round they could probably knock it down to like 8 minutes. Because rarely did we see someone going into those last couple of minutes or something last night. I think they could streamline that just a little bit. All right. Their pick is in.
There it is. They've got to go offensive line, though, right?
Well, they keep showing T. Higgins.
They've got to.
Maybe you're right because they on ESPN they keep showing T. Higgins, so maybe they're going to take T. Higgins.
I don't know.
That's okay with me. I mean, I like T. Higgins, okay, but I'm not like after seeing Mike Williams in San Diego, I'm afraid with T. Higgins being another tall Clemson receiver that's not that fast, I'm just getting too much of a Mike Evans sort of one-dimensional fear there,
Okay, gotcha. What's it called? Looks like Ryan N says this is his thing with Taylor. He has bad mileage. He has mileage, can't catch, and his pass protection sucks. Bad fit for Tampa.
Yeah, they do
see that.
They do need pass protection with Brady.
Hey, we got a Wink Van Ripple in the chat. It's been a hot minute since we've seen him here.
Yeah,
says he's Team Taylor. Okay. Is that Jonathan Taylor or is that Zach Taylor? I'm just curious.
I would assume Jonathan Taylor, but true. That's true. Oh, here we go. T. Higgins, you're right. You were right. It was a receiver.
Called it.
Okay. Well, so
all right.
So that wide receiver core is going to be AJ Green, Tyler Boyd, T. Higgins, and John Ross.
That's a fantasy nightmare.
That is a fantasy nightmare. I don't want any part of them now. I mean, it's kind of like what I said with the Cowboys last night. And then I read a couple articles today basically saying the same thing that I said last night about how, they now don't want any part of, analysts talking about how they don't want any part of the Cowboys receivers because now just everybody's watered down,
Right. Oh, man. I get it, though. You got to get Joe Burrow weapons, and you got to get him weapons who are healthy. So I get it.
Yeah, I mean, if they're going to trade someone, to me, it doesn't make sense unless you're going to trade somebody. Trade, Tyler Boyd or I guess they're still planning on having Green stick around, but to me, it only makes sense if you're going to trade one of them.
Gotcha.
The Colts pick is already in. Colts pick.
Oh, that was fast.
Immediately in. So whoever they are taking, they had no doubt about this person, and I cannot wait to be disappointed by this pick.
Oh man, you have no faith in them, do you?
Well, I just feel like it's going to be. They just love depth on the offensive line and defensive line. and I am just fear. I think it could be a safety too. I don't think I'm going to get my dream of Pittman, but man, if it was like Eason or Pittman, not that I'm even that high on Eason, but like I would be excited, because then it would be, you know, an offensive weapon that clearly they were excited about, but I don't think it's going to happen at this pick. Maybe they use that other second rounder on a receiver or something. But if I had it my way, they'd take Pittman here, take a corner or a safety 10 picks from now, and then maybe in that third round, maybe if Eason or Fromm are there and you like one of them, I don't know. But I just feel like I am set up for disappointment here. And
that's how I am with Chicago too. So I'm with you. I'm in the same boat.
Yeah, and you said Chicago's got the 10th pick, right?
I think we have the 10th pick in the second round. Yeah, and then we also have like pick 16 or something.
Yeah. Yeah, and the Colts are they're right in between there at 12. So now we're getting down to on receivers where we're down to, you know, T. Higgins is off the board. Now you've got some guys like, I'll butcher this guy's name, but it's like Laviska Shenault, the guy out of Colorado. Here's Goodell. Get my reaction. Yes!
Hey!
Yes!
Yes! There it is.
Oh, I was so ready to be disappointed by that. Oh,
congratulations.
Oh, I cannot believe they actually picked the guy that I wanted them to pick.
Oh my goodness.
We should have. What's that?
We should get Judah Buddha to create like a GIF of you. Just, yes. Everything.
Right. Yeah. Oh man, that's too awesome. That is too awesome. Because I mean, I think it's a brilliant pick, and I feel good when I'm on the same page. When are you ever on the same page with your team at like the top of the second round? You know, so that was the fact that it went in that fast. That was clearly the guy they wanted. So so really, like whatever else they do the rest of the way, I'm gonna be happy. So.
There you go. You've gotten your guy. You're good.
I've gotten my guy. Yep. Yeah. And like I've got friends texting me because they knew like how much I was in on Michael Pittman. They're like, oh, there's your guy. Yep.
There you go.
So now do you have I doubt that you have a Michael Pittman that you want that badly for the Bears at 10. Like I wanted him for the Colts at 2. It's like 34 2. So.
Yeah. I don't have like an individual guy that I want that bad. Last year I had a couple of guys and I got Javon Wims 2 years ago, so I was really happy about that. But I don't really have a guy this year. I just want offensive line help. Look, we've got like most of the wide receivers by this point are off the board. And our wide receiving core is okay at this point. Like it's all right. Mm-hmm. And then quarterback, we don't have it figured out, but we're doing something. We've got running backs. Our defense is still really good. So I think we either need offensive line or cornerback since we lost. We took a hit in the secondary.
What if they took a quarterback? What if they took Hurts or Eason, and then you've got Trubisky, Foles, and one of those guys, which I don't think they're going to do that. I think
Ryan Pace does that, I will leave this screen. I will exit myself out if we take a quarterback.
Well, the Lions pick is already in too, so these guys seem to know pretty well who they want here.
Yeah. I'm thinking the Lions take a linebacker here, I'm thinking.
Oh, yeah. I think I did see a mock talking about the Lions, actually. Who was it? I don't remember, but it was a linebacker.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. And, I mean, if they get a good linebacker, then you've got a star corner at the top of the draft. and then a linebacker. You're good at wide receiver, you're good at tight end, you're good at quarterback, running back. If Kerryon Johnson can stay healthy, which is pretty iffy. I don't know about their O-line.
It's all right. It's all right. No world class, but it's solid.
So yeah, they just really need defense.
Which you would think they'd have solved already because they got Matt Patricia, but apparently not.
Yeah, I don't know how confident I am in Matt Patricia.
Yeah.
We'll see.
It'll be interesting.
All right. Here we go.
All right.
With the 35th pick in the 2020 NFL Draft, the Detroit Lions select
DeAndre Swift. Oh. Ooh, there's your Georgia guy. There's your
oh man.
There's your Georgia guy.
Let's go. All right.
I think that's a smart pick for them. Kerryon Johnson can't stay healthy.
Nope.
So the question is going to be though, how valuable is either one of them in fantasy though? Are they going to split time? And holy crap. They're showing, are you watching this?
If it's the ABC stream, then yeah.
This is the ESPN stream of DeAndre Swift's dad, who is who's like a professional power lifter or something.
Oh, okay.
He's like as wide as he is tall, and it's all muscle.
Oh my goodness, that is a big man.
You need to look at that. You need to look at those clips. That's crazy. I don't think that's a bad pick. I don't think that's a bad pick for Detroit. Kerryon Johnson, I like. He played at Auburn, so I saw him a lot in SEC games. He's good, but he can't stay healthy. So, I like that. I like that pick for Detroit.
Yeah. I think it'll energize their offense a lot because their pass game is good, but if he's starting at running back, he's so quick, he's so electric. I think that'll help him out a lot. Ryan N in the chat, he was like, "Is this the end of the stream?"
No. The Colts have another pick. They've got the pick at 12 too. So I'm at least staying through that. So we'll see how it goes. I'm definitely not sticking around for almost 4 hours tonight, but we'll see how fast this goes. I don't know.
Yeah, I'll probably be here at least till the Bears' second pick, probably.
When is the Bears' second pick?
Depending on how long.
16, you said?
16, I think. Yeah, that's what I want to say. Because we definitely didn't have a higher pick.
Yeah, I'll stick around with you through that.
All right. And hopefully Judah Buddha will get here at some point.
Yeah, I don't know if he's
he says he's on the road, actually, so he might be here in a little bit.
Oh, okay. Giants picks already in, so the Giants went offensive tackle Andrew Thomas, kind of a surprise pick. Not that they picked a lineman, but that they picked him. So I think you've got to go. You got to go defense, right?
It has to be.
You don't need a running back. You can always take more offensive line, I guess.
Right.
But, I think receiver is not an area where they want to add to. And, now you're down to, pretty much just Denzel Mims, I think, is about the only one that was a potential first round type talent who's slid a little bit. But, is he going to be a significant upgrade over Darius Slayton? I don't know.
Because Slayton had a solid end of the year last year too. I don't think you can replace him.
Yeah.
I just saw what's it called? Mel Kiper's needs for the Giants, and it was linebacker, edge rusher, cornerback, safety. So there you go. All defense.
Yeah.
See, these are the awkward moments where you're forced to pay the companies to put in, their advertisements, even though the pick is already in. But, nope,
Right.
Got to get our money.
Yep. Oh, yeah, Ryan N. is upset about Swift being gone. That was his number 2 guy.
Yeah, that stinks.
How long till
You
Tampa's
still got, what's his name, though? What's his name? I can't think of it right now. You got J.K. Dobbins on the board, though, so you can still
Dobbins was his pick right behind his preference right behind Swift.
Oh, yeah,
so,
yep.
Yeah. Oh, there's Judah.
Uh-oh, here he is.
Oh, there you are.
Oh, my.
I'm not sure if we can hear you. Not sure if this is safe.
COVID is taking over the internet.
I can't tell if you said COVID is taking over the internet.
That's kind of what it's.
taking-
That's what it sounded like. Yeah.
Yeah.
Why would COVID be taking over the internet?
Why would COVID? Okay.
Sorry, guys. I have bad internet connection.
We can't really hear you. It's very low. Can you hear me? Nod if you can hear me well. Okay. Yeah, we can barely hear you. It's just like a whisper.
How about now?
Yeah, there you
How
go.
about now?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Hey, congratulations, both of you guys, calling things and getting your mans.
Yeah.
We're having a good start today.
Yeah, good. It's a good draft today.
It
Way
is.
better than yesterday.
So you
see, Jared's fist pump was worth the whole first round. It's
I'll
like
have to
all
go-
of that encapsulated.
I got this. I was watching.
here we go. Here we go. Here's the
okay,
Giants
who do we
pick.
got?
Hold on. Giants pick. Hold on one second. So
Thank you to all our service members, both here and around the world. We cannot thank you enough for what you do and what you continue to do in these uncertain times. Thank you. With the 36th pick in the 2020 NFL Draft, the New York Giants select Xavier McKinney. Defensive back.
yeah.
Xavier McKinney. There just went Ryan's other guy.
Poor
I am surprised that he lasted that long. Alabama DBs are, you can usually count on those safeties pretty well. So
Solid pick so far.
yeah,
Giants, I think.
yeah. I mean, like the top of the second round, you can get some talent at the top of the second round.
Yeah.
I mean, people get hung up on the first round as if there's some massive drop off between that 32nd pick of the first round and that 33rd pick, which is the first pick of the. But I mean, especially through I'd say pick 40, pick 45, somewhere in there, you can get some, really good players. Second round picks are nice. You almost wonder sometimes if teams would just be better off, unless they had one star guy that they were really set on in the first round or something, just constantly trying to trade all of their picks for second round picks. You know what I mean? Trade the first ones down into the second round and trade fourth rounders and fifth rounders and try to get up into the second and third round and stuff like that.
Interesting. Yeah.
Well, isn't that sort of the Moneyball Belichick approach?
At least the trading down to the second round part. Yeah. I don't remember how often he trades back up from the fourth or fifth, but it just seems like those sweet spot rounds are like 2, 3, 4. Like 1. It's almost worth more. To try to use that capital to get more picks. But then, like, once you get past the 4th, like a lot of those guys, like 5th, 6th, 7th round, just never, amount to much. So I think that would be my strategy if I was a GM. Oh, yeah. New England's pick's already in.
Is it a quarterback?
That's what I'm wondering. Nope. Kyle Duggar, defensive back.
Wow.
Okay.
Lenore Ryan from Lenore Ryan.
Sure.
Not familiar with him.
Me neither. I mean, Kyle Duggar. Oh, I mean, safety. So, sure.
Yeah.
See, it's really interesting because I think the Patriots could have used, if they hadn't traded back, a wide receiver from round 1 because their core isn't great. I mean, it's okay, but
yeah. Are they going to tank for Trevor though?
I doubt it.
It's hard for me to see Belichick tanking. Yeah.
Yep. But, exactly.
Yeah, I'm curious. The Panthers pick's already in. Man, these things are just rolling. Like, imagine if the first round went like this.
Yeah, that would make life so much easier. I could get to bed at a decent time. And dang, Lenore Ryan's helmet is nice. I like that.
Yeah. So my buddy Jeff, who was tuning in.
How late?
Go ahead. What?
How late did you guys stay up last night?
We went till we almost went 4 hours on it.
Yeah.
We went like 3 hours and 45 minutes. We stayed to like pick 27 or 28.
Seattle, I think it was.
Yeah. But it was worth it. We got to be there for the Jordan Love pick. And it's too bad we probably don't want to get it now because your feed is so like choppy. Yeah. But here's the Panthers pick.
There it is. Yep.
Yeah. Gross Matos, the defensive end from Penn State.
Yep.
Poor Ryan. Yep. Poor Ryan's losing all of his guys here.
How many is
hey,
that?
guys.
5.
I'll tune back in later when I get to some good internet.
Okay.
Right.
Sounds good.
All right. Bye.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't really know much of anything about this guy.
Oh my goodness! I just must say really fast that Bill Belichick's dog is adorable. I'm sorry, I had to say it.
Oh, I have seen that dog before. It's like an Alaskan. What is it called? Alaskan something.
Is it a husky or is it a collie?
No, it's not a husky. Neither one. It was something weird. Yeah. It was something weird that I had never heard of, and it was some special about Belichick or some special that he was in, and so his girlfriend wanted to name it. He wanted to name it something tougher, and then his girlfriend named it. And you could tell he was like grumpy about it, But it is a cute dog. I can't remember what it is though. But all right, Dolphins pick's already in. So did they take Dobbins here?
I think they got to take a run, or maybe Jonathan Taylor. I can see Jonathan Taylor going to Miami too.
Okay, this is what the dog is, if I remember right. It's an Alaskan Klekai.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It does look like a husky. It looks like a mini husky, but that's what it's called. Yeah. A Klekai, if I'm pronouncing that right. Klekai.
Okay. It's adorable.
Yes.
Okay, man. The second round goes. It's kind of funny. I always think about the draft, and it's like everyone gets so excited for it. And I was looking back at previous drafts, and I'm just like, it never really lives up to it.
It rarely does. Yeah. Usually, you just end up disappointed. All right. So the Panthers took a tackle. So maybe Zach Bond, the linebacker, somebody to replace Luke Kuechly. They could use a corner too. So I'm going to say wait, I'm confused. So did they just
I think Dolphins pick, right? Still?
Oh. Yeah, I guess maybe they were showing so did they just have Carolina's pick and I missed it, or
wasn't that Gross Matos?
Okay. Sorry. Yeah. I got mixed up on these. I thought Gross Matos was to someone else. My bad.
Okay.
Yeah. So they're trying to rebuild that defensive line that just got shredded last year. So it's I get confused because they'll have such and such as the pick being in, and like, oh wait, we're still, oh no, we've already moved on to this other one. So, yeah. So the question is now, is it Dobbins?
I don't know. I think it also could be Taylor. I think either one. Flip a coin, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Okay, the Bears have pick 11 and 18. Okay, there we go.
So
we go right before you do.
You're right before the Colts. Yeah.
Yep. Ryan N says he really doesn't want a defensive tackle, so he hopes there's a run on those. I could see that. You got a bunch of teams that could use defense, especially Jacksonville.
Yeah.
They could just – if there's any team that's just like, all right, we can take the best player available, we don't care who it is Jacksonville.
Right. Yeah, is there anybody else that has just been stripped down to the bare bones as much as Jacksonville? Like, I'm running that through my head.
Nobody.
I don't think there is anybody. I don't think there is, no.
Man, and it's like, even when I don't even know, they're downsizing at this point or whatever. They're getting nothing. I'm going to be on this the entire year if the Jaguars win more than 6 games, unless something super surprising happens. I will be genuinely surprised.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe they're tanking for Trevor. Maybe that's their goal. Oh gosh, no, don't send a good player to Jacksonville. Just the abyss where there's just no fans.
Ouch. They haven't. Man, they need David Garrard to come out of retirement right now.
It's weird because Jacksonville at one time, it's just funny that like early on in their early days they had more success. It was Mark Brunell, Fred Taylor,
MJD later.
Yeah, oh gosh, who was the receiver? Was it Jimmy Smith that was the receiver?
Yeah.
So
young Mercedes Lewis too.
Yeah. So, and then, now not so good now. I really would like to see them move to a city where, just people cared about the team and people supported it and stuff like that. They need to get out of Jacksonville.
I could see him going to maybe like Oklahoma, give Oklahoma City a team. Because they got the Thunder. Yeah. Give him some off season. I could see that.
Yeah. I don't know if maybe they could go to St. Louis. Maybe if St. Louis would build a stadium, because that was the whole issue, because I don't know if OKC, like you have to have like a certain population level, I think, to support in order to be able to get a team. And I don't know what OKC's is. Like NBA, the stadium size is much smaller. So a team like, so a city can get a team like the Jazz in Salt Lake City, or the Trailblazers in Portland, or well, of course, Portland. I don't think Portland is really as much of a population thing, but Kings and Sacramento. Yeah, just the requirements, like the population requirements for an NFL team, or NBA teams just a fraction of what. Okay, here we go. Here's the Dolphins. Guard, Robert Hunt.
Solid pick.
They're protecting Tua.
Yeah.
And usually you can get some good guards early in the second round. I think the Giants a couple years ago got Will Hernandez, who was projected as like a potential first round pick that fell a little bit. And you can get some good guards in the second round. So, hey, two guys to help protect Tua. That's not a bad way to go. I think teams are going to learn from the mistake of the Colts, who didn't protect Andrew Luck, and we saw what happened there. So, I mean, it's hard to argue, and I mean, look, they're not gonna be a contender next year. So just go ahead and get guys to protect him, and a year or two down the road, you can worry about finding all the pieces to put around him to have a more complete team that's a contender.
Yep.
Texans pick's already in. I don't know how the Texans still have a pick. Oh wait, let's see. Is this the one? I think maybe this is the one that they got for DeAndre Hopkins.
Let me see.
I bet it is.
Yeah, because Cardinals are pick 8. The Cardinals were pick 8. Yep, this is the one they got.
So David Johnson and whoever this is. So maybe they take Denzel Mims. Maybe they try to replace DeAndre Hopkins with a young DeAndre Hopkins.
It's going to be interesting. And the thing that still shocks me about it is Houston didn't just give Hopkins; they also gave a 4th-round pick.
Yeah, right.
I just don't get it.
Yeah, it makes no sense. I think Judah sent me something saying that the Ravens, I guess, had actually tried to get Hopkins too, which I would assume that anybody who knew about him being available would just about have tried to get him. But I don't know. Okay, here we go. Here's their pick. The guy they got for DeAndre Hopkins. Ross Blacklock, the tackle from TCU. So,
yeah, I guess. Okay. Sure.
We'll see.
Sure.
I tell you, like defensive linemen in the second round seem like one of the hardest things to try to judge because, it just seems like after that first round, it seems like after that first round, defensive line is one of those positions that just falls off a cliff. Like I was just talking about how you can get like good wide receivers and good running backs and good offensive linemen. But man, for whatever reason, it seems like defensive linemen are just evaporate. They do. So I don't know. I guess maybe part of it too is just me looking at it from like the Colts' recent history of trying to get some of these guys, and they turned out okay. Some of them did, but just nobody to write home about, and which is why the Colts were trading the 13th overall pick for DeForest Buckner. Is to get that kind of anchor guy on the line. So I don't know about that.
And actually, speaking of trades, Ryan N., thanks for alerting me. The Colts traded up to pick 41. Traded with the Browns. They gave up pick 44, so their pick, and also 160. So like their 5th round pick, I think, at that point.
That would be a 5th rounder, I think. Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, I like the fact. I like the fact that the Colts are being aggressive. I just imagine them just like trading back. So clearly there's somebody else they want here.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see who that's going to be.
Okay. What position you going to guess here? You got your man already. So what are you thinking?
I'm going to guess DB, although it could be offensive tackle. I think there's still an offensive tackle that's on the board. I'll guess DB or tackle. I don't know which. If it's not one of those, it'll surprise me.
All right. Also, did you see the Colts? I think it was the Colts, if I'm not mistaken. Let me make sure I'm getting this right. Oh yeah, the Colts got Trey Burton to
They did. They
back
did. Yeah.
up
Okay.
Doyle. What do you think of that?
Here we go. Here we go.
Here, put the camera on you. Put the camera on you. We got to see your reaction.
Hang on.
The Indianapolis Colts select Jonathan Taylor.
Jonathan Taylor. Wow. Okay. Wow.
Oh, Marlon Mack.
Interesting.
Shot to the gut.
Interesting. I'm okay with that. I'm just surprised. I'm just surprised. I like that. Except now Marlon Mack's fantasy value is.
I wonder, do you think they did that to trade ahead of Jacksonville? You think Jacksonville is going to draft Taylor to back up Fournette since Fournette, there's been trade talks? Do you think the Colts
Possibly so. I'm a little bit surprised by that. That was not what I was expecting. I like it. But I'm in a little bit of shock. So I don't know how to respond to that right now. I think I really like it though.
Yeah. Well, you know who is excited about this? Ryan N. Your Bucks are not going to get Jonathan Taylor. It's a win-win for you. Interesting. It's so weird because I think this is going to help the Colts with their whole weird transition state because now you've got a young wide receiver, young running back, offensive line is solid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm now curious to go back and look up a bunch of tape on Jonathan Taylor because I honestly running backs I paid very little attention to him because I didn't think the Colts were gonna use a second or third round pick on one of them. So
yeah, he's a good strong runner. I mean, obviously he won the top running back award twice in a row in the NCAA. So pretty good. And the Jags pick is already in.
Man, I tell you what, his little profile photo hanging. I don't know what they were showing on ABC, but his little profile photo on ESPN is not flattering. It's like he looks like an offensive lineman there. So I don't know. Maybe he's gonna have to slim down a little. I guess. Yeah. Now I'm really curious because I didn't expect him to do it because so I hadn't paid attention to running back at all.
Yeah,
I like it. Well, it makes me feel better. I've been afraid like Ballard has gone like so defense heavy in drafts. I mean, there's been drafts, where it's just been almost entirely defense. Drafts where it was like offensive line or defense, which is good. I don't disagree with that. But I was wondering to see. I've been waiting to see like, can he break out of that pattern? Is he just going to be a guy that always takes that, thinks that that's the key to winning is the lines? And as we kind of evolve into the modern NFL, where the Chiefs are winning with Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce and all these receivers around them, and Sammy Watkins and multiple running backs, Damian Williams, LaShawn McCoy, all these guys, and now CEH. Is Ballard willing? Does he put enough priority on offense to go up and get weapons? So this tells me, I guess, that he does. So I feel good. I feel good about that.
All right, there you go.
I think based on what I do know, I do kind of feel better about Taylor than Swift. I actually like Taylor over
really
Swift.
Why is that?
Normally I can articulate really well what I don't like about a player. But with DeAndre Swift, it could be a case of just having been spoiled watching Georgia with Nick Chubb and Sony Michel. And then you get to DeAndre Swift and you're like, yeah, he's good. He's good, but when you watch those two guys for so many years and you had Todd Gurley before that and everything else, that it just, so maybe I'm biased. Maybe I'm downgrading DeAndre Swift too much, but I don't know. I like Taylor.
Yeah. Well, Ryan N, he's got Jeremy Chin or Zach Moss. He's dead serious. One of those two, he says the Bucs are going to take. He's locked in his prediction.
And how far away are the Colts or the Bucs from their next pick?
4 picks. We've got Jacksonville, Chicago, Cleveland, and Tampa is right after Cleveland.
I'm just checking to see what some of the Colts beat writers are saying about these picks.
Really fast. While you're looking that up, I'll be right back. I got to grab a charger.
Okay. All right. Let's see here. Yeah, not a lot of hot takes. No real hot takes, I don't think. One of the Colts beat writers is talking about how receiver was their biggest need. And yeah, I think it was. But I also think Pittman may have been the best player on the board. So I don't think they reached for him at all. The Taylor pick really is interesting. I did not expect that. But I don't think they have a glaring need somewhere else where there was a guy available. So I'm okay with it. I'm just curious to see how they're going to use him and Marlon Mack together. I'm not sure how much of a receiver Taylor is. I guess I need to look that up while I'm talking about him here, because Marlon Mack is not a receiver. And that's one of the things that, as good of a pure runner as he is, one of the things that has kind of, I've been kind of skeptical of his future because, the modern NFL is just multi-purpose running backs. All right, here's the Jaguars pick. Laviska Shenault, the receiver. I don't know how I feel about him. He's not that fast. I was afraid the Colts might end up with him. He's a physical guy. I guess some people think of him as, or talk about him being almost built like a running back. He's a 6'1" guy that can break tackles. He had an injury at the combine, so he didn't really run. I think he did run the 40 once, but then pulled up hurt after that. It was, I think, in the mid 4.5s, if I remember right. But he's not. He wasn't really someone I was eager for the Colts to get. So I guess Jonathan Taylor developed a little bit better as a receiver in his senior year. At Wisconsin, he had 26 catches for 252 yards and 5 touchdowns after having 8 receptions each of the previous 2 years, under 100 yards and no touchdowns. Man, he had a lot of carries. He had a lot of carries at Wisconsin, 299, 307, 320. I guess that proves that he's durable, but that's also a lot of mileage on those legs. ESPN's stat profile does not say how old he is. So let's see if I can find that somewhere. I assume he's like 21-ish, like a lot of these guys. Yeah, okay, that does not list his birthday either. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't list. So I assume he's around 21. But that's a lot of carries. Oh, Caleb. Sorry, AJ. AJ. The Bears pick is in. So maybe he'll be back. Maybe he'll be back in time to see the Bears pick because it's here. Oh, sorry. Oh, he somehow got. Oh, there you are.
Right.
Did
there
you?
We are.
Did you drop out?
I can't log myself back into the screen through the stream somehow. Once like I remove my camera, I can't go back in for some reason.
Oh,
it's really weird.
Yeah, I saw you waving. I saw you waving down there after a second, but I thought you had just. Yeah, I thought you just ducked out of the screen share, but I guess you don't.
Oh, not the whole thing.
Yeah, gotcha. Oh. Well, the pick is in.
It's time. I am ready to be disappointed. I really think we need to get a guard, especially since we just lost Kyle Long to retirement. I think we really need a guard here.
Yeah.
Oh no. I'm prepared to be disappointed. I'm thoroughly prepared to be disappointed.
I was. Maybe you'll have luck like me. We'll see.
Yeah, I sure hope so.
Yeah, I spent some time talking about Jonathan Taylor. Yeah, he had like 300 carries each of those 3 years at Wisconsin, which is good and bad. I mean, it proves he's durable. That's a lot of mileage, but I don't know. Maybe it doesn't matter. Maybe running back lifespans, career lifespans are so short these days that it doesn't matter. But yeah, I'm just curious to see how much of a receiver he will be because he wasn't in his first 2 years. Okay, here we go. Here's the pick.
We are proud to support you in all frontline work. We will get through this together. Now, with the 43rd pick in the 2020 NFL Draft,
come on.
Chicago Bears select Cole Kmet.
The tight end.
Oh,
Cole Kmet.
I knew it. Oh, as soon as they started showing his picture, like on the side. Okay. Yeah. I'm okay with that. This is only like our 5th tight end in 2 years.
Well, that's a position they need. Obviously, we just talked about Trey Burton going to the Colts, and Cole Kmet is coming out of a school in Indiana. So,
yep.
Interesting.
Okay. I mean,
he looks a little bit like Rob Gronkowski.
He does. He really does. Oh, that is funny. I don't even know how to feel about this because the Bears have had such bad tight end luck over the last 2 or 3 years between Burton and Adam Shaheen and Deion Sims and whatever the other, like our best tight end play came from like our 4th string tight end last year. And so I don't know, Kmet's had one big year at Notre Dame. He's not he's pretty tall, which is nice. 6'5", 6'4". But
yeah,
I don't know. I mean,
dude.
Okay.
I do remember that. I do remember that game against Georgia where he was just eating them up.
Yep, me too. And yet we still won, so it works out for everybody.
Yeah.
Brown's pick is already in. My goodness. And Ryan N, he's got one more pick, and then he's got 5 guys: Dobbins, Delpit, Winfield, Espenza, and Mims, predicting either Jeremy Chin or Zach Moss. It'll be interesting to see what happens.
Yep.
Oh, Cole Kmet. All right. Okay. Sure. Sounds good. All right. I'm just going to be curious to see what they do with Kmet and Jimmy Graham now, who's been paid way too much, but one of them, I don't know what's going to happen.
I forgot that Jimmy Graham went there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, and we paid him like $8 million.
For how many years, though?
$8 million a year, so I think 16 for 2 years.
Okay. Well, I bet that
Yeah.
contract though is where they can like dump him after a year. Yeah, I would say, but maybe they keep it. Tight ends usually take a couple of years to develop. So maybe they, kind of have him as sort of a mentor for Komet.
Right.
But I'm okay with that pick for the Bears.
Yeah.
Now,
I mean, we were in the second round, so there wasn't really going to be any huge picks like there were last round. So
right.
Or the Colts' first pick of the second round, obviously. So
yeah, nothing's going to nothing's going to give me that kind of jubilation. Like now, I mean, to me, of course, you've got one more pick for your guys. Now, what starts to become interesting for me is we're getting into. So we're a couple of picks away from, or a few picks away from the middle of the second round. Who is the next quarterback to come off the board? And where does he go? So is it, I'm assuming it's either going to be Eason or Hurts. Maybe it could be Jake Fromm. Maybe somebody likes Jake Fromm more. Or, do these guys fall to the third round?
Yeah. I could see Pittsburgh trying to jump maybe at a quarterback if they really, really like someone. I could see them taking someone here. Or, I mean, other than that, there's not much.
You know what I just thought?
What?
This wouldn't happen, but it would be so funny if Green Bay took another quarterback. My brain, I'm useless
goodness.
I'm useless half the time because my brain just goes to these like Saturday Night Live scenarios,
morbid curiosity
of just Aaron Rodgers sitting here going like, guys, what am I supposed what are we doing?
I asked for a wide receiver and I got a quarterback. I asked for an Xbox and I got a belt. This is not helpful to me.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's really kind of now because the Colts don't pick again unless they trade up, and they've already traded up once. So I would guess that they're probably not going to. But I think they have the 11th pick of the third round. So that's like 73. Wait, no, what is that? 75. So they've got a little while to go, and I don't know that I'm going to stick around for that. But so that's what I'm curious to see is if we get one of these quarterbacks off the board here soon.
Yeah, that would be interesting. Crazy thing, as much help as they need, what if Atlanta took a quarterback?
There were rumors that they wanted to take a quarterback. I mean, Matt Ryan is, I think, 35. I think maybe he's about to turn 34. He's about to turn 35. He turns 35 in the middle of May.
Okay. Even though he's doing good, especially with minimal injuries in his career.
He is. But, okay, here's the Browns pick. I'm guessing OT or defense.
It's got to be.
Yeah, Delpit, the safety from LSU.
One more from Ryan N's list gone.
Yeah, that one hurts. That one hurts a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
He really fell, and also his profile pic is hilarious. He's got like a black leather jacket on, no shirt, and a giant number 7 chain on.
I don't get it.
He fell because of his profile pic. I'm going to go ahead and because if I was a GM and I saw that, I'm going to be like, okay, questionable decision making here. We're going to bump this first round talent down to the middle of the second round.
Right, exactly.
Wow. Oh, and I saw someone else. I saw somebody else on social media talking about rugs in the bathrobe last night. So,
Oh yeah, I still don't get that.
yeah. Yeah. I'm just thinking of all these things from last night that I'm circling back to in my head. It turned out that what we saw, where we saw Jerry Jones, was his yacht. You remember the background for Jerry Jones that we talked about, looking like the Today Show studio or
Good
something?
Morning
You know?
America. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. That was his That was his $250 million yacht.
Are you for real?
I am for real. $250 million yacht.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. That is crazy.
Just circling back to little nuggets from last night.
That was still one of the best parts. It's funny because my mom is a Cowboys fan, so I told her afterwards, and she just like every time I told her a part of what was going on, she laughed more. I was like, "Yeah, you had a giant white couch, laugh with a giant TV screen, larger laugh with the Salvation Army logo on it." Yes. And it's like it was over.
Right. Yeah, like it was obnoxious if that was in his home somewhere, but like when that's on his yacht, man.
Oh man.
All right. Okay. The Bucks pick is in. We're about to find
Here
out.
it is, Ryan. Jeremy Chin or Zach Moss.
Here we go.
Those are the predictions.
Antoine Winfield, the corner. Antoine Winfield Jr.
Ah, there it is. Hey, it's one of your guys. There you go.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Okay.
Yeah, he's like Pittman. He's a second generation guy. He's a junior, as in his name is a junior because his Antoine Winfield Sr. played in the NFL, was a corner for the Vikings, was very good.
Nice.
So I think this guy, like the metrics aren't the best from what I've read, but you know, he's one of those guys that plays better than his, you know, height, weight, 40 time, all that stuff. So, because he's 5'9" and 1/8, so that's not terribly tall, and he's 203. 203. So for 5'9" and 1/8, 203 is pretty hefty. Oh, here's our guy. Judah is back.
Hey.
He's got
from the draft.
He's got some sort of like little weird Mike Tyson face tattoo going on there.
Why is it doing that today? Weird.
Yeah, so we just did the Bucks pick. Ryan N got one of his guys a little farther down on his list. A lot of those other guys were gone. But
yeah, he says, don't call our secondary weak. Free safety was their only holdout. Yeah, the Bucks are going to be a nightmare to play against this year for a lot of teams.
They're going to be good. It makes that NFC South pretty interesting. Apart from Carolina, I don't think Carolina has much of a chance.
Ouch. You have no faith in Carolina and Bridgewater at all, do you?
No. Well, it's going to take some time. I mean, that defense is going to need a little time. I don't know what Matt Rule is going to look like as head coach. Yeah, if I had to rank them right now, I mean, I would put them at the bottom of that division.
Really?
Yeah. But I mean, that's a tough. Well, I mean, look at everything. Look at everything Tampa's added. They're just better talent wise than Carolina across the board. And Carolina has a new coach. The Saints have been good, and they will still be good.
They're going to be amazing this year.
Yeah. And so who is Carolina better than? Could they be better than the Falcons? I think the Falcons are going to be good enough to just be their usual middling selves. Sorry, Falcons fans. Sorry, actually, Thomas H.
I think the Falcons are going to be pretty good this year.
Right, but that's what I'm saying is like
more than middling, I should say.
But then that just supports what I was saying about Carolina being the worst team in that division. Then
yeah, no, I don't disagree with you.
Team.
Yeah. All right, the Broncos pick is already in too. So
they already got the wide receivers. So
any big surprises since I last saw you guys?
I don't think so. I was
Bears took a tight end.
Yeah, the Cole Komet, out of Notre Dame.
Okay.
So he was the first tight end off the board. It's not a good draft for tight ends, at least as far as depth. Not that he's not a good player, but just in terms of, a lot of times there will be a guy taken in the first round or something. But yeah, he was the first guy this year. So why is your screen glitching?
Did you see your reaction to the Colts? The Colts second pick? Were you there for that, Judah Buddha?
Yeah. Well, no, I was watching. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
Oh, their second pick. No,
their second. They took Jonathan Taylor, the running back out of Wisconsin.
My guy. That's gonna hurt.
It's gonna hurt Mac. Yeah. So now, like Mac was gonna be like my 5th round guy in fantasy drafts.
Yeah.
Now I don't know how that's gonna. I don't know what that's gonna mean. I mean they're not gonna. They're at least gonna split them.
Yeah. Jonathan Taylor does not catch the ball very much.
But the thing is, Mac doesn't at all almost. So no. He does not catch the ball.
Okay.
Like I can look up his stats from last year.
You're right.
But
I thought he caught a little more last year, but
I mean, comparatively maybe, but I mean, it's let's see here.
Really fast. The Broncos took another wide receiver in KJ Hamler, so out of Penn State. So I am high on the Broncos even more.
Now that's starting to worry me a little bit for Sutton and Judy and I don't know. I mean, I think KJ though is more of like I don't think he's going to be like an immediate contributions, large role kind of guy. So I still feel okay about that. I'm surprised that they did that though. That's an interesting.
Yeah.
I guess maybe they just thought he was the best player on the board.
Wouldn't you want to shore up your offensive line or defensive line? Or
you would think. Wow. When you've got 2 young guys in Sutton and Judy
and Fant
at tight end. Yeah.
I don't understand the logic there. Of course, I'm not, there. So in the team.
So Marlon Mack, last year had 14 receptions for 82 yards.
Yeah,
wow.
Yeah, he's not a pass catcher.
It sort of supports remember I was talking about Nyheim Hines being kind of a sleeper pick. I think if Mac isn't there, I think Nyheim Hines, you could get him real low. And last year he really came on.
But the problem is he's going to be game script dependent. They would have to be trailing for him to really get passing, because now with Taylor and Mac, if they're even or ahead, they are just going to pound the football. That's what they want to do, is run the ball. And so not for me. Hines is not for me.
No.
I wonder, with this, I wonder if they did this just because of Mac's injury history.
I think so.
Because he's just so last year he played 14 games. 2018 he played 12 games. 2017 he played 14 games. He just stays dinged up. He's a good runner, but I don't know. And so he's going into his 4th season. So I am not sure then if he's on that rookie contract, and he obviously wasn't a 1st-round pick. So I guess maybe he's probably a free agent after this year.
I think so. And I think Mac honestly scares me even more because he had a concussion before I think his last year of college. So at this rate, he's had 2 concussions, 2 hamstring issues, and also a shoulder labrum tear in 2017. That's a mess.
So I just found a quick article here. Yeah, and he is in the final year of his deal, and they had there was a report out that that they were working on a contract extension back in February, and the Colts owner refuted the report on Mac. So yeah, I think they are. I think Taylor is where they're moving on from Marlon Mack.
Okay. Well, if they go solely with Taylor, I could dig getting in on some Taylor. I have gone back and watched tape of him through the eyes of Walton. What's his name? He's one of the old football guys, and he loves Taylor. Not as a pass catcher, but as a really. Oh, here we go. Where do we go?
Here's the Falcons pick.
Thomas
Falcons
H isn't here.
With the 47th pick in the 2020 NFL Draft, the Atlanta Falcons select Marlon Davidson.
Who?
Defensive tackle.
Marlon Davidson, defensive lineman out of Auburn.
Okay, fun times.
Oh, lost AJ.
Bye, AJ.
Maybe that was just a connection.
Are you guys streaming on a different StreamYard? I couldn't find you guys.
It may be on mine because I logged in and then I couldn't get into the one that AJ had set up for me, and so okay. I'm just like, all right, I'm streaming, but it is going to our channel.
Yeah.
But it's, I guess maybe my StreamYard. I guess it doesn't matter what account you use through it, but yeah. So before you got in, we were also talking about too, like, now that we've gotten through. Let's see. Okay, so the Colts, both of their second round picks are gone. They've got an early third, but I don't know that we'll stay for that. But AJ's Bears have a pick in a couple picks.
Really?
We're on 48, and then the Bears are at 50. So we got to see that one. But I told him the other thing that I'm really curious about is who's the next quarterback to go. Does someone like Jalen Hurts or Jacob Eason go?
Yeah.
Do they go in the second round, and where do they go? So who is it? When did they go? Where did they go?
I still think Eason. You guys I think it was you, had a real good prediction of him going with the Saints, and I still like that.
I don't know if I predicted that, but I could maybe
that
get
was.
him.
Or at least you said that you thought that was a really good spot. Maybe it was.
I think Fromm. I think you're maybe thinking of where I said Fromm might be a good spot to the Saints because
Was it Fromm?
Because he's very Drew Brees like. So with Fromm, I was talking about the Colts or the Saints, somebody like that. Maybe the Patriots.
So where do the Patriots next? Where do they coming up next?
They just picked, and they picked a defensive back.
Defensive back?
Yeah. So,
I think I caught you guys talking about whether or not they're tanking for
Trevor. Yeah.
My thought about that was
hang on. Okay, the Seahawks pick is in.
Okay, here we go.
With the 48th pick in the 2020 NFL Draft, the Seattle Seahawks select
Darrell Taylor, defensive end out of Tennessee. So
fun times.
Yeah, a lot. Now we're getting into some guys that I'm just like, okay, I don't know who that is at all. So
yeah,
good job, Seahawks. Maybe.
I don't think I ever have. I don't think I ever tune in for the second one.
I usually tune in for the second round. Normally, I tune in for the first and second round. And then usually after that, if I have it on at all, it's just like it's in the background. So the Steelers pick's already in, so they seem to know who they want. This would be an interesting spot for Jacob Eason if they decided to go that direction.
Interesting. Yeah.
He's very Big Ben like. Body type wise, he's very Big Ben like, but he doesn't have that. Like Ben will just stand in the pocket and shrug people off. Jacob Eason gets kind of skittish with pressure, so I probably should not say that he's very Big Ben like. He's Big Ben like in his physicality in terms of height, weight, cannon arm. But he doesn't have that thing where he can just shrug tacklers off. He's skittish with pressure.
Interesting.
But yeah, it's going to be interesting because you've got these guys that there's AJ's back.
AJ.
There you are.
Hey, sorry about that. My Wi-Fi went out for a minute.
No problem. Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
Well, if Eason goes with who's coming up? Who are the picks coming up? We got the Bears,
Pittsburgh, Chicago, Dallas.
I think Dallas needs another quarterback.
There were people lobbying for Jerry Jones to take Jordan Love, which, I mean, that would also be like a Jerry Jones thing to do. I mean, he took CeeDee Lamb. So it's never about, like, Jerry's not going to draft for need. Let's see. I want to see the draft order. Yeah, because I'm curious.
Interesting thing. What if? Sorry, go ahead.
No. You go ahead. It's fine.
I was going to say, interesting thing with Pittsburgh coming up. What if they took J.K. Dobbins? What if?
That would be. I could see it. They need a guy like they almost like would have been a good fit for Taylor too, because I mean, the way James Conner gets hurt, I could see that. So Dobbins, yeah, let's look here. Dobbins, maybe would the Rams take him to replace Todd Gurley?
They could.
There's some
interesting.
There's some interesting spots here. I think almost, the way running backs are just treated these days as so disposable. Like any of these teams could grab a running back at this point. They could grab J.K. Dobbins, and the farther he goes, the more incentive there is for them to take that value. So I think he could go anywhere. Quarterback. So if we're looking at quarterback here,
who would you say is better, Fromm or Eason?
They are polar opposites.
Really?
Yeah.
Apples and oranges type thing?
Absolutely. Fromm is like a lot of people call him like one of the best they've ever seen at pre-snap reads. Great intangibles, pretty accurate. There's Jalen Hurts. They're showing Jalen Hurts, so maybe Jalen's going off the board. A lot of people had him going to the Steelers in their mocks.
I think I did too. Yeah.
So Fromm is very much a Kirk Cousins, Drew Brees type, or the low end of those comps has been Chase Daniel, but I think he could be better than that. Jacob Eason is okay. Here's Goodell with the Steelers pick.
With the 49th pick in the 2020 NFL Draft, Pittsburgh Steelers select Chase Claypool.
Chase Claypool, wide receiver out of Notre Dame. He's almost like a tight end.
Okay, that's good.
I didn't want the Colts to get him.
I like that pick a lot.
I didn't want the Colts to get him. He's a different type of receiver than what Pittsburgh has. I'm okay with it for them, also because I don't care. But they, I don't think it's a bad pick for them. Like he's a unique, like, physical talent, but I could also see him just being like just mediocre. I don't know. Bears pick's already in. Here you go.
Uh-oh.
But to finish up on Fromm and Eason, so that's Fromm's type. Eason he's like a Matt Stafford, but he doesn't have the toughness of a Big Ben or a Matt Stafford. Like, he gets skittish on pressure. So, but I mean, just a rocket arm. Big guy, like 6'5". He looks the part of. He looks like he would be a number 1 overall draft pick at quarterback. Like when you see him throw some of those passes.
So he's like Osweiler.
Now, I wouldn't say Osweiler.
I mean, you're saying that now because you've seen him play in the NFL, but that's what everybody said about him coming into the NFL. Rocket arm. Actually, talked about his, his intangibles, how tall he was.
Yeah, but I mean, Eason was like Eason has a better pedigree than Osweiler. Like Eason was the number 1 quarterback prospect coming out of high school, going into college.
Okay.
Osweiler, I don't think was ever rated that level of talent.
Nope.
If you could combine Eason's size and arm with Fromm's like intangibles and leadership and accuracy, like you'd have like a Peyton Manning type. All right, here's your Bears pick, AJ.
Who?
Corner. Oh, Jalen Johnson, the corner from Utah.
Okay.
That's not bad.
We needed a defensive back. I'm all right with that.
All right. Interesting.
So they're showing footage of him on ESPN where he's just like sitting on his couch with his family. I hope it was like footage of where he didn't know that he had gotten picked yet, because he just looks sad.
Ouch.
Well, I've got to go. Do you want to hear my take on Love real quick?
Yes, absolutely. Now's a good time. The Cowboys pick's already in. We don't care about the Cowboys. So yeah, give us your.
Well, I'm kind of curious to who they go with.
Well, if it comes up, I can.
Yeah,
I can
let me know if it comes up.
So the Packers are your team. If people don't know that.
Yeah, Packers are my team. Now, see, here's the thing: is that the Packers are my team. Aaron Rodgers isn't necessarily like. I love the Packers. I love Aaron Rodgers because he's part of the Packers. I love the Packers because he brought me in. But look, I love the Packers, and I did not love watching them play when Aaron Rodgers got injured. When they had nobody behind him, when they had just terrible. And I really believe
Matt Flynn was solid.
Okay, yeah.
Matt Flynn was solid.
I really believe that Love could be a generational. He has the talent to be like Mahomes, and I think what really helped Mahomes was okay.
Hold that.
All of us in the National Football League extend our sincere condolences to Dak Prescott.
Yeah, Dak Prescott.
He lost his brother.
Yeah.
And we all kind of know him too because he was on that commercial.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, they're doing a little in memoriam photo for him.
Was it COVID?
They haven't said what. Okay, now they went to commercial, so I thought he was about to announce the pick. They haven't said. So, but anyway, go ahead.
Okay, so like I think that he could be the same kind of similar talent to Mahomes, but I think what helped Mahomes a lot. I think Mahomes had a lot of stuff to work through, sitting behind Alex. What's his name? Alex Smith. For a year. I think helped him considerably, and how much more will it help Love sitting behind the best quarterback in the NFL? I think this is great. I think it's the best place for Love, and I think it's a really good a really good choice by the Packers for their future. He is not somebody who's going to threaten Aaron Rodgers' dominance for a while. And let's be honest, Aaron Rodgers is he's 36, will be 37 by next season. He gets hurt almost every season now. I'm glad that they're getting somebody with as much talent as Love, and he does have a lot of talent. After Jared talked about it, I went and looked, and he can make some amazing throws. They are Patrick Mahomes-esque throws. He just needs the coaching and the diligence to get better as reading the field, get better in
Consistency. Lots of consistency.
Well, that will come from working on the fundamentals of pocket passing.
Yeah, the worst stuff I saw from him was those, I guess those kind of little outs where he would just like stare down a receiver and turn and throw it, and the corner would just be there, 5-10 yards down the field on the receiver and just jump in front of it. So it's really is. Yeah. It's like, are you going to get Patrick Mahomes? Are you going to get Deshaun Kaiser? Are you going to get something in between? Probably.
Well, it's not Deshaun Kaiser. Deshaun Kaiser was horrible and didn't have the kind of talent that Love has. Deshaun Kaiser had a scrappiness about him and a big arm, but he didn't have just the. I don't know.
I don't know. I think maybe I would have to go back and look at Kaiser, but like originally, I think he was getting like first round buzz, and then he dropped. I don't remember. I would really. It's been a while now, so I'd have to go back and look. But
I think teams are. I think someone like Deshaun Kaiser, a lot of these like guys who ended up being duds could have been better if they had spent time developing them behind somebody in a system, in a planned development. We've gotten away from that. That's the way the NFL used to. That's how Aaron Rodgers was developed.
Right.
And we've gotten away with that, where we want here now. What can you do for me today? And I think that's ruined a lot of quarterbacks' careers.
Oh
yeah. Yeah, they're ready to get those guys on the field, get fans in the stand to see the stands and to see the hot, exciting young guy that's going to take them. So that's true. That's true.
I mean, if you
I agree with you.
Look at Lamar, look at Mahomes. These are guys that studied and worked and took a year at least to develop.
Yeah.
And so I'm glad that Love is going to have that.
Yeah.
Wait, didn't Lamar, correct me if I'm wrong, didn't he start year one?
He did for
later,
like one or two games at the end.
Towards the end, yeah.
And it was ugly.
Okay. It wasn't horrible. It was horrible.
His passing was horrible. But he got a lot done with his legs.
He still completed 60% of his passes though. And the rushing helped a lot.
It was bad.
It was bad enough at one point. I think is their playoff game where fans were wanting Joe Flacco put back. So that is bad. But of course, fans are fickle, and fans, if you're not, okay. Here's the Cowboys.
Okay, here we go.
With the 51st pick in the 2020 NFL Draft,
Be a receiver.
Cowboys select
Trayvon Diggs, the corner from Alabama.
Nice.
Solid.
So they needed somebody. They needed somebody to replace Byron Jones. So
man, teams that needed help on their defense really lucked out. There's been a lot of good picks. A lot of people fell to the second round.
This is a deep draft. I mean, not just for
is.
defense, but like you look at Michael Pittman and T. Higgins in the second round. Denzel Mims is still on the board. I guess people did the more I looked at Denzel Mims, I talked to you, Judah, about him one day. I'm like, ooh, I like Denzel Mims. And then the more I looked at him, I'm like, I like Michael Pittman a lot better. And Mims has a lot of he has great hands. He has a great catch radius, but he has trouble getting separation. Even though he's got sub 4.4 speed, he has trouble getting separation. It's the weirdest thing. So
separation doesn't come from speed as much as it comes from route running. And so if he doesn't have good route running, then
So, but there's a lot of this is a deep draft with a lot of good players in the second round. So.
Well, guys, I'm gonna have to jet. I appreciate you guys letting me on. And
of course.
Yeah, we debated. You know, whether or not we
I
would.
sat down there for like 15 minutes.
No, you did not.
All right.
All right, so we're gonna be back at it tomorrow, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. With our review or whatever we're calling it, I guess.
I wonder if we could start a little earlier. Maybe like 10?
10 your time, 10 Central.
10 my time, yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, I can.
Works for me.
Okay, let's shoot for that. Because I'd like to do that reverse redaction afterwards with you.
Oh, yeah. We'll do that.
Right. Okay, I'll see you guys later.
Catch you later.
Bye.
So yeah, I don't know about you. I want to stick around maybe for at least a few picks because I'm curious to see like Rams here. Maybe if the Rams take Dobbins or something. Let's see.
Right.
If my nose will stop itching.
I'm curious to see what the Rams and Philly especially is going to do now because Philly's defense was atrocious last year.
And they could honestly like use another receiver. Do they want to? They want to just take Denzel Mims too?
Honestly.
2020 NFL Draft, the Los Angeles Rams select Cam Akers.
Cam Akers. They did get a running back. It's Cam Akers from Florida State.
Oh, okay. All right, I can see that. Interesting. Before Dobbins, though, I'm really curious.
So that makes things a little more interesting then, because then you take a second round pick. Take a running back with a second round pick. I would assume that guy's going to start for you.
Yeah. That's interesting. And I can't keep looking at the logo. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, I was right about them taking a running back. I was just wrong about which one.
Yeah. Huh.
Eagles pick is already in. I would say either DB or look, they could use another receiver. Like it wouldn't shock me for them to take Denzel Mims.
Yeah.
Because they just don't, they've got Deshaun Jackson. They're trying to get rid of Alshon Jeffrey. I mean, that would be maybe kind of rough to go with. You'd think that would be rough to go with two rookie receivers. The Broncos. Right. The Broncos are going with two rookie receivers.
Yep. But especially with Philadelphia, though, they're just so weak on defense. Last year, they got shredded by almost anybody. If they need defense, they really, really do.
Yeah. That LA logo, man.
Oh no, that's gonna be the butt of jokes for a while.
Yeah, so the Eagles took Jalen Reagor. I was having trouble remembering off the top of my head until they showed it just then who the previous receiver was that they took.
Right. Yeah. Which still I don't know how Philly fans are going to feel about that, but
yeah.
Okay.
All right, here we go. Jalen Hurts.
What?
What?
There are a million ways this can go. Jalen Hurts has barely been two completely different quarterbacks. As a freshman,
I don't even know what to say to that. I mean, are they going to use him just in like special packages? Is this some sort I don't know what Carson Wentz's contract is. I thought he got paid. That is very interesting. But man, I'm pretty sure Carson Wentz is getting paid for a while.
Let me see.
5 years through 2024. But maybe this isn't his big.
No, I think you're right. Through 2024, I think is what it is.
Let's see the details of his contract. So, it was $137.25 million over 6 years, and that was just back in June. So
2024.
interesting. I don't know. I don't know what to think of that. That's a very interesting pick. You think of all their needs, like you were just talking about. They're, they need defense. They really could use another wide receiver, and they take Jalen Hurts.
What?
I don't understand that pick. I get the Jordan Love pick.
Right.
It sucks for Aaron Rodgers because Aaron Rodgers wants to win now and he's running out of time. But if you're Green Bay, you do have to think about the future. But I mean, Carson Wentz is what, like 25, 26?
Yeah.
So I don't know. Well, okay. I guess there's another way to look at this, though. Just in the same way we were talking about injuries, is Carson Wentz gets hurt every year.
Yeah, right. But still, you wouldn't take someone later. You'd use your second round pick.
I don't know. I mean, but year 2, he played 13 games. Year 3, he played 11 games. Last year, he played all 16 games, but then he got hurt in the playoffs in the first playoff opener. So, but yeah, I mean, that's a high pick. That's a high pick to take a backup quarterback on. Well, that answers the question of who's the next quarterback off the board.
Okay. One chest injury, one hip injury, one hand injury, and 2 knee injuries, both in the right leg for Carson Wentz.
Yeah, I truly understand all
I don't get it. I just don't get it.
So if we look at the rest of the second round, like we're breezing through the second round. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I guess 11 more picks in the second round.
That's not bad.
Buffalo doesn't need a quarterback. Baltimore doesn't need a quarterback. Nope. Miami doesn't need a quarterback. The Rams probably do need a quarterback, but they're not going to take one, I don't think.
Round 2.
Minnesota could draft a young guy. Seattle's probably not. And then we've got Seattle. I don't think they're going to get anybody really behind Russell Wilson. Although Jake Fromm is from Washington State. If they wanted to go with a local connection there. Baltimore again, Tennessee, Green Bay, Kansas City, and Seattle. So you look at that whole list of teams, really, unless somebody trades back in to the bottom of the second round, the only team that's scheduled to have a pick that could really potentially use a future young quarterback would be Tennessee. So
that's strange.
That's pretty interesting. So, does Jacob Eason fall all the way to the third round? Ryan N. I just saw Ryan N's message from a second ago.
Yeah.
Eason to us or the Colts in round 3. Maybe so. I would wonder if somebody's not going to go up and trade up and get him earlier. I don't know. I'll have to look to see where let's see, Tampa. Where does Tampa pick and where? Okay, so Indy picks one spot before Tampa. Indy picks at 75 and Tampa picks at 76. So is there anywhere else? Let's look here. So
oh my goodness, the Eagles subreddit is blowing up right now with angry comments.
But here's the Bills pick. The Bills finally took AJ Epinesa, who's kind of dropped. People were originally talking about him as like a first-round guy. He's dropped.
Yeah.
So things get pretty interesting in the third round because then you've got Washington again. They could potentially take someone to compete with Dwayne Haskins. They're at 2.
Yeah.
Detroit at 3.
Stafford gets injured, not a lot, but he does have the occasional.
Yeah,
he's a trooper, but he gets injured.
And Eason is very similar to him in a lot of ways. That would be someone for him to potentially learn from. Both former Georgia quarterbacks. There's a lot of similarities there. They kind of look alike too. The Jets at 4, no. Carolina at 5, Carolina maybe. New England at the 7th pick. Jacksonville. There's a lot of teams that I could see potentially taking Eason there in the early 3rd round before Indy or Tampa. So I don't know, Ryan, and I don't know if Eason's going to last that long.
It's going to be close though, because even with the teams that could take a quarterback, they need a lot of help in other places. Like Washington needs help just about everywhere. Detroit, they could use help on defense. They could use some help on defense. Carolina, I think they could use another linebacker maybe. I don't know. They could use a quarterback, but I don't know if any of them will actually take one.
Yeah. Yeah. And if you have, I wonder too, from like the standpoint of like Eason and Fromm, if you fall into the 3rd round, are they then going to regret coming out of college a year early? Because really, would you have hurt yourself to where you fell down into then the 4th? I don't know. So now it's starting to look like I think Eason, if somehow he doesn't get taken here like later in the 2nd round, I think Eason, then this proves to be a bad choice for him at least.
Interesting. Okay. Interesting. Ryan N says that the Colts or the Bucks are the best fits for Eason, though.
I'll agree with that. He could go in and learn from Phillip Rivers. He could go in and learn from Tom Brady. He would have kind of quarterback gurus there as coaches to work with him, either Bruce Arians or Frank Reich. I agree. I think those would be have to look back at the draft list here. If he went to New England, obviously that's not a bad spot considering what they have done with quarterbacks. Of course, that's a lot of pressure to be the guy who follows Tom Brady. That's a lot of pressure. But no, I do agree. There's nobody else who's a better fit for him than Indy or Tampa. That's a good call, Ryan. That's a smart analysis.
Yeah. I could also see, though, the Colts, depending on if they like him better. I could see him taking Fromm, too. I could see him fitting pretty well in their offense.
I think they would actually – it's hard to say. Based on what they've said with their what they like in a quarterback, if what they were saying was true, and I think they are being honest, like Reich and Ballard were being honest, they do lean more towards like cerebral and accuracy, and that's not really Jacob Eason. So if they did take a guy at 3 and gun to my head, who's it going to be? I would say Fromm over Eason.
Interesting.
I don't know though. They may pass entirely, but man, if they came out of that, it would be pretty funny if they came out of the first rounds 2 and 3 with a wide receiver and the wide receiver I wanted. Maybe, who knows how Taylor ends up shaking out. He could be the best running back in the draft. He could be, we know Ryan doesn't like him. But so maybe he's not, maybe he ends up not being that great of a pro. And then to get a quarterback, like that's a pretty exciting draft for Colts fans.
Yeah. You're having a really good draft haul so far.
Look, the Colts fans have been through a lot of trauma. We need some good news. We've gone through the Josh McDaniels 2 off seasons ago. It was Josh McDaniels snubbing the Colts and all the embarrassment and drama around that. Last off season, it was just doomsday scenario with Andrew Luck retiring. We need some good news for a change.
Yeah, even though on the other side, us Bears have had it
I know.
real bad.
Yours though hasn't really been like meteors hitting as much as just like a slow bleed from Mitch Trubisky. You know, it's like
Ouch.
it's not like disasters that are popping up unexpectedly each season. It's just this sort of this one wound that you can't. It's like an old injury that just won't heal. You know.
Yeah, it's like ever since Tressman year 2, like when he got fired in season 2, it's just been a long downhill slope from there.
Yeah. Yep. All right. Ravens pick is in. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to last into the third round. I'm getting.
Yeah. Maybe say like, where do you want to end? End of the second, a little bit before that, maybe.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll play. Let's see. This is on. This is 55 for Baltimore. So we'll see how fast these start coming. It's a few minutes till 9. So
Ryan N says 20 picks till the Bucks. Time to come up with a list of 20 guys because I'm bored. There you go.
Yeah, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that for the Colts. Like now, okay, here we go. Here's the Ravens pick.
With the 55th pick in the 2020 NFL Draft, the Baltimore Ravens select J.K. Dobbins.
J.K. Dobbins.
Oh, no.
There we go.
Oh, Mark Ingram's stock just went down.
I told you that like I did not love Mark Ingram's stock this year. Like even with Gus Edwards and Justice Hill, and now what a mess! What a mess is that backfield? You've got J.K. Dobbins, Mark Ingram, Gus Edwards, Justice Hill. Nope, no, thank you.
Yeah, that killed it. That kills my hope in their backfield for me now.
You know, this is really going to. I don't know. This really, like the way these draft picks are going here, it's putting like more value on those top running backs because now Detroit's backfield, you've got Kerryon Johnson and DeAndre Swift. The Colts backfield, you've got Marlon Mack and Jonathan Taylor. The Ravens backfield, you've got umpteen guys.
Everybody
running the ball.
Right.
So yeah, that's interesting. I wondered if the Ravens would go running back.
They're just collecting like a monopoly of running backs. It's like, look, if you want a decent running back, you got to go through us. You want a trade opportunity, we've got it all right here.
Right. Yeah. I don't hate it though. I mean, look at what they've got on defense. They've got Marquise.
It's a smart pick.
I think it is. I think it's good value for that pick. They've got Marquise Brown. He's going to be better in his second year. They love to throw to their tight ends. We know they love to run the ball. And so if you can get one more guy that's more of a well-rounded guy, then yeah, sure, go for it.
Yeah, and up next we've got the Dolphins, who so far have gotten a quarterback, a guard, a tackle, and a cornerback, and they're not even out of round 2. They are coming with a haul.
Yeah. They've got defensive needs to fill, though. There again, do you want to go get to a? Do you want to go get to a receiver? Do you want to take a chance on Denzel Mims? Although, yeah, I was really excited about him after the combine, and then the more I watched tape on him and stuff, like I don't know, like he's one of those guys that he could become, a superstar, or he could be a bust. I think.
Yeah. What's it called? I'm really curious because even in free agency, they went out, they got Kyle Van Noy, they got Byron Jones, they signed him to a long contract. So I think if I'm Miami, I get one more guy for Tua. I don't think this would be a bad spot to take another receiver.
Yeah.
They could be a surprise this year if the Patriots don't if they don't really do anything to help their offense, they could be a surprise this year.
Yep. Here we go.
Yep.
Raekwon Davis, defensive tackle out of Alabama. Yet another Alabama guy going.
All right. Works. That works. Ryan, and he's going to dip out of the draft. It's boring at this point. See y'all later. That is
Ryan.
Totally fair. It is starting to burn out.
Thanks for tuning in, Ryan.
Oh yeah, always, man. And congrats on getting like all of your Bucks players that you need so far.
It's been a good haul. It's been a good haul. It's been a good offseason for Tampa. Tom Brady, Rob Gronkowski, an offensive tackle that dropped all the way to him. I'm forgetting their other pick now, but yeah.
It was is it Winfield? Was it Winfield?
I think it was Winfield. Yeah. Yeah, the corner. Yeah. Yeah.
You know, just like an average offseason. You just got a 6-time Super Bowl winner and all that.
Yeah. Yeah, not bad.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. So what do we got up next? Yeah, we've got the Rams again, then the Vikings. Let's watch through maybe the Vikings pick. And then because then we get back into some guys like Baltimore again, or I'm sorry, Seattle again, Baltimore again, Tennessee, Green Bay. Green Bay will be interesting again. I would laugh depending on what they do. If Jacob Eason was there and they took Jacob Eason. We'll see. I don't know. But I am kind of curious to see
what happens.
Do what?
I guess we just get a feel for what happens, I guess.
Yeah, I guess I'm just kind of curious with Minnesota to see, because that's like one of the two teams that are left in the bottom of this round that I'm thinking like, maybe they could go get a backup for Cousins, a young guy. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
And then it's Tennessee a few picks after that, but I don't think I want to wait to that point necessarily, unless it just happens to feels like it's going pretty fast. They got to get these commercial breaks in, so I'm pretty sure this could be going a lot quicker than what it is, but they got to get the commercials in.
Yeah, exactly. See, that's honestly partially why I like day 4 or day 3 so much, because you just get through so many players really quickly.
Yeah. The Colts, one of their beat writers, Stephen Holder, was retweeting a tweet from somebody else talking about how they couldn't remember a round 2 with so many good players.
That's true.
Like this, and that's absolutely true. I cannot remember this kind of round 2 ever. So,
yeah, this is a very good, very solid round.
And the way it's going, like there's gonna be some solid guys there in round 3.
Yeah,
I don't think
it's a very deep draft. It looks like your fantasy team. It's just depth everywhere you look.
Yeah. And those quarterbacks being there, if they are still there in round 3, makes it more interesting too. I think Fromm will be. Easton, maybe the Titans take him. I don't think Minnesota will take him.
Tannehill. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't remember the details of Tannehill's contract. I know he got money, but did he get like, there's money and then there's like,
$29.5 million a year.
For how many years?
I think it's 4 years.
4-year, $118 million.
Yep.
Let's see.
That's a pretty big contract.
That's a pretty big contract.
I just encourage everyone to be there for each other. Be there for your friends, for your family, your neighbors. Just help any way you can. And finally, I just want to thank all the essential businesses.
Yeah, I would, after looking at that and what they're trying to do right now, I would say it's unlikely. They take Eason, but we'll see.
Meanwhile, we are looking at the situation for the Los Angeles Rams, we're still waiting on Jacob Eason and Jake Fromm. These two, of course, are tied together from their time in Georgia.
Yeah, they're showing Eason.
Uh-oh. Oh, no.
Well, it's a contrasting in style between these two guys, Trey. You got Jacob Eason, who's the big, strong-arm guy that can really push the ball down the field. And you see some really incredible moments from him.
See, here's the funny thing. Since you're the Colts guy, I keep forgetting that Jacoby Brissett's technically the 10th highest paid quarterback in the NFL.
For one more year. He
For
was
one
on
more year.
for one more year. He was the Colts have an obscene amount of money in Phillip Rivers and Jacoby Brissett. But
Yeah.
the irony of it too, though, then is the Colts have no one. They don't have a quarterback under contract for 2021. So
Yeah.
they've got a ton of money in those two for this year, and then no one after that.
Yeah.
But what's interesting too is if the Colts end up getting a rookie guy, maybe not even necessarily this year, although they could still take Eason or Fromm. But if they get a rookie guy next year or something, you then have a pretty good team built around a young quarterback. Like that is a team that's set up just waiting for a young quarterback to come in. All right, here's the Rams pick.
Yeah.
The Los Angeles Rams select Van Jefferson, wide receiver.
Van Jefferson, wide receiver out of Florida. So he went ahead of Denzel Mims.
Interesting.
And
Just get another wide receiver.
to replace
I
Brandon
mean,
Cooks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing is Cooks is gone. Josh Reynolds, they've got Josh Reynolds still. They've got Robert Woods. They've got Cooper Kupp.
Mm-hmm.
But teams like this, I think in our minds, we tend to think of how teams are going to build well-rounded roster.
Yeah.
And it usually does not work that way. Like teams typically have certain positions that they love to draft, or like with Jerry Jones, like guys out of a certain school that he loves to draft, and so, like if you looked at the Ravens and they've got Mark Ingram, Gus Edwards, Justice Hill, you wouldn't be thinking like, okay, they need a running back, but then J.K. Dobbins falls there and they take him. So that's why the draft is more difficult to predict because you don't know who's going to fall. And then, teams that may look like they're stacked, they like to stack that position. And so they're just going to take another guy.
Mm-hmm. Which is really interesting. That actually, especially, it's really interesting that works. And I see also that a lot of times, especially if you're building a Super Bowl roster, it's the offense that you really need to get, because it's very rarely that you see a team win a Super Bowl. It's like, yep, their defense won it. I mean, Ravens, and that was about it over the past 10-ish years.
Mm-hmm.
Defense wins championships is rare, especially nowadays, now that you've got running quarterbacks becoming a big thing as well. It's like, no, you get a high-powered offense, you already made the divisional playoffs.
Right.
And that is funny. Sean Jefferson's his father. I think I have like 4 football cards of him.
Sean Jefferson. Interesting. Okay.
Land on a wide receiver. This would be the most prolific first 2 wide receiver rounds in NFL draft history. Let's see what the Vikings do.
Here's the Vikings. See if they go Mims.
Here we go.
Ezra Cleveland, the tackle out of Boise State.
Okay.
I mean, they like to run the ball. So you need people to block for Dalvin Cook and those other guys.
All right, I get it. That's a sensible pick.
Yeah.
So let's see. Do the Jets make the most Jets move in history? Earlier, they didn't take a wide receiver like all their fans were yelling at them for.
Mm-hmm.
What do they do now?
That would be very interesting if they were able to have Denzel Mims fall all the way to the bottom of the second round. But man, that his poor route running and ability to like get off of, cornerbacks off of him apparently has just scared everybody away, because like even with me, like looking at the tape, I'm like, gosh, that guy is just never open. I mean, as talented as he is, I mean, he was making like circus OBJ type catches. But he was having to do that because cornerbacks were just all over him. He was never open. So I don't know. I mean, maybe, but at some point there, the talent has to be enough that you say, okay, maybe we can, teach him to do this better. And then with his contested catch skills and stuff like that, he can really develop. I don't know. But yeah, now again, if nobody trades back up into the bottom of this round, you've got Seattle, Baltimore, Tennessee, Green Bay, Kansas City, and Seattle again. I don't see either of these quarterbacks going off the board unless the Titans just somehow really like something that they see in Eason or something.
Yeah.
It's so interesting to see all these homes, like these people have some nice homes. I was watching that in pregame where Cliff Kingsbury's got the highest.
I saw that.
Got the highest marks. Yeah. I missed it somehow. I think I guess was talking, looking at the screen here when his came on. So I missed it last night, but I was like, oh yeah, man, that is nice. But none of them are doing poorly. This is this is a good industry for making some money for home buying.
For sure. And we're back to a commercial break.
Let's see. Yeah, Jets pick is in. So I guess they traded back. I don't remember who they traded back with. I guess Seattle. I guess Seattle maybe.
Seattle. Yep. Jets paid trade pick 48 for 59 and 101.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's not bad. 101's bottom of the third round.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Interesting. This must be someone they really like then. See, this is the sad part about doing it virtually, because we can't get all the Jets fans immediately booing before they even hear the pick coming out.
Yeah, that is the like it's a weird setup to not have Roger Goodell being booed every time he on screen. It's also weird to not have the Jets fans going crazy.
Yeah, and the Eagle. Why is it the green teams? It's the Jets and the Eagles just boo at everything.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. Well, they're both in two northeast cities that just have no chill, no forgiveness for you not doing exactly what they want you to do. So
Exactly. It's like an even more toxic version of the Star Wars fan base.
Yeah. Yeah, I think maybe after this pick, I'm going to dip out because bottom of the second round, I don't know if anything exciting is going to happen. And I really am curious to see if someone in those top, 12 picks or so, I think Eason or Fromm or both have to go in those 12 picks, because there's some teams there that could use a young quarterback, and surely the value is worth it there at that point, unless people just like if they're just not believers in either one of them.
Yeah, who would you rather have the Colts draft? Your GM, you get to make the call. Would you rather take Eason or Fromm?
That's tough. That's tough. Because Eason's got the higher ceiling with the arm that he has and stuff, but I don't know. I don't know off the top of my head.
Yeah.
I don't know. Even like sitting here now, I'm just like,
yeah. It's really close. It's a tough decision.
What about you?
For me,
Bears need a quarterback. If let's say they could get out from an under Trubisky, and Foles is just going to be there. He's going to maybe be a backup, or you could get a young guy to come in behind him. Would you pick Eason or Fromm?
I would take probably Fromm because actually that's actually hard too.
It's hard, right?
That's hard. Oh man,
it's
like I could say Fromm because it's the safer pick.
Yeah,
the Bears get like a safer quarterback. It's like he's much more technical. But then at the same time, I remember, oh wait, we have Matt Nagy who taught Patrick Mahomes, who has a gigantic arm. And he could teach Jacob Eason, who also has a huge arm. So for me, it's if we didn't have Nagy, I would say Fromm, but we do, and that's what makes it hard for me because I feel like he could teach Jacob Eason really well.
Yeah. It's a tough one because their strengths and weaknesses are night and day, and I feel like it keeps both of them on about the same level. So that's a tough one.
Yeah. So do we want to finish here seeing why the Jets traded up?
I think so. No, they traded. They were the one that traded back, right? Didn't they? Didn't they trade with Seattle to trade up?
Seattle traded back, I think.
Oh, okay.
This was Seattle's pick, yeah. They're still booking.
New York Jets pick in the 2020 NFL Draft. The Jets like
Denzel Mims. There he is. Yeah.
Oh, there it is. Okay.
Well, he gets to stay. They desperately need a wide receiver, so he stays in green.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, at that point, yeah. I mean, if they teach him to run better routes, he could be very good.
The Jets fans are still booing about it, though, so nothing ever changes.
Oh, Jets fans. Yeah.
All right. Solid pick.
Yeah,
that's a good one then.
That's not bad. Yeah. Well, yeah, I think it's about time to head out. We'll be back tomorrow morning. A little earlier than usual. Looks like we're going to be on it. We're going to aim for around 11, 10 Central, and that way we can go over maybe a little bit more of the second round, talk about it a little bit more, talk about the third round, which is coming up here in a few minutes. And then I'm not sure. I think usually the draft starts around noon on Saturdays. So depending on how long we go, I don't know if we'll get into any of the fourth round or not. But we can talk about the third round and stuff and talk more about a little bit of what we've talked about tonight about the fantasy value of some of these running backs who are going to be in kind of these muddled committees.
Maybe do we want to finish here? The Ravens just traded the pick to the Patriots.
Let's do the Patriots. Yeah. Was this? Yeah. So maybe a quarterback goes here.
Oh boy. Who do you think would be a better fit for Belichick, Eason or Fromm? Because I think Fromm would be a better fit.
It's the same thing, It's like it's the same strengths and weaknesses. Like I don't know how you pick between those two. I think Belichick would probably pick Fromm unless he thinks just Eason has the capability and just hasn't had it tapped. Hasn't had his potential tapped well enough. But I don't know. Like so much of Belichick's offense relies on like these short, quick passes. Eason's not, as strong as his arm is, he's not so far been the most accurate with those. So I would say probably Fromm, but it's also hard for me to see them taking Fromm at the bottom of the second round.
Yeah, that's true. It seems like a little bit of a jump.
Yeah.
Unless you're right and Tennessee was going to take him and they jumped up to stop them.
Yeah.
Here we go.
With the 60th pick in the 2020 NFL Draft, the New England Patriots select Josh
No, linebacker Josh Uche.
Okay, sure.
So now I do want to stay for the Tennessee pick. Now that we're already there to it, because now I want to see if Tennessee does, because that's the last one without somebody trading back in that I could see, potentially taking. And the Titans are a Colts rival, so so we'll see.
Yeah. So the Patriots traded pick 71 and 98, so their third rounder, and the Ravens gave him pick 60 and pick 129.
Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah, you get into this part of the draft, and the trades get a little bit more complicated because it's not usually just like these two picks for this one pick. It's like this pick and this pick where they move up in one and back in another for a team that wants to move back in one and up in another. So it does get a little more complicated.
Yeah. So I'm curious to see what the Titans, who the Titans get, because we didn't mention that they got the other Georgia tackle, Isaiah Wilson, last round.
Yeah,
so I'm curious to see what they're for here.
Yeah, I don't know. I would guess. I don't remember what their offensive line is like. I'm not sure what their needs are off the top of my head. Something else from this is if they don't take any kind of like little replacement for Dion Lewis, we'll have to see if they take a running back, anywhere in the first 3 or 4 rounds. If they don't take someone to be a replacement for Lewis, then I think that ups Derrick Henry's value even more, because then he's, they're probably going to be using him more as a pass catcher a little bit. So we'll see if that happens.
Yeah. I think their offensive line isn't bad, because I'm just like, they've got a good wide receiving core. They got a great running back. They've got Jonnu Smith. Maybe they bolster their defense, even though they got Malcolm Butler. They got Vic Beasley. It's a pretty well-rounded team overall.
Yeah. Yeah.
Keep you safe. And for even greater peace of mind, all Carvana cars come with a 7-day return policy.
All right, Titans, let's see it.
You know how you cook the patty, you slap that cheese on there, and it all comes together. Can't forget about the bacon.
I taste the sweetness.
I taste the tangy of it. Oh, you want to try that?
Yes. Sweet and tangy bacon slinger.
It's interesting. I'm reading a quote from Jonathan Taylor talking about how that he had just a small sense that Indy might take him based on the questions they were asking him. But he, like, in terms of like the overall contact, said it was just like a minimal amount. And so that's why, it's always tough to evaluate who really the teams who do they really like. Because there's going to be times where, probably more often than not, maybe, where they don't want to let the cat out of the bag that they like this guy, because if they do and someone else likes him, and it's known, then someone can trade up a couple of spots in front of them or something. So
exactly.
Yeah, it's a tricky spot.
Mm-hmm. It's gonna be interesting to see what Tennessee does, because oh my goodness, I don't know.
Yeah,
at this point, most of the big running backs are off the board. The wide receivers are off the board. There weren't a bunch of tight ends. The big linemen are off the board. So, other than quarterbacks and maybe a couple of defensive backs, there's not a bunch of skill positions that are really deep anymore.
Right. The only receiver that I can think of is Brian Edwards, I think, who was out of South Carolina,
Okay.
getting some buzz for. I don't know if he was really looked at as a second-round guy, if he's a third-round guy. I don't really know that much about him, but he was definitely like kind of looked at as being somebody who would get drafted after, all the guys who have been drafted so far. So yeah, I don't really know a lot of the, there's not a whole lot left in terms of like that crop of talent that was a great value for the early second round, a lot more than normally what we would get.
Yeah.
Well, the Tennessee Titans are back on the clock, and I'm a little disappointed in what I see behind Mike Vrabel, the head coach, because his setup in his house last night was a question of a lot of controversy through the first round of the draft, and we decided to dial it back a little bit here in day 2. John Robinson, the executive VP and general manager there as well. Let's see where the Tennessee Titans are going.
All right, here we go.
With the 61st pick in the 2020 NFL Draft, the Tennessee Titans select Kristian Fulton.
Kristian Fulton LSU DB. I feel like half this draft has been Alabama or LSU players.
Yeah, it has.
I mean, with good reason, they always put out a lot of talent, but last year especially. But you think like the first 2 quarterbacks off the board were an LSU and an Alabama quarterback, and then running back, safeties, DBs, wide receivers. Gosh, it's crazy. It's crazy how much talent came out of those 2 schools,
Yeah, it is. And then on top of that, also Ohio State's had a bunch too that came out, especially early draft. I think it was 2 of the first 3 picks were Ohio State, right? And then after that, just
Okuda. I think Okuda. He was Ohio State. Chase Young. Oh yeah. I was looking right over Chase Young. Yeah. So the second and third picks were Ohio State. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right,
and
man.
you could technically say the first 3 because Burrow transferred from
true.
Ohio State.
That's true. Yeah, he had the best of both worlds there. Yeah.
Exactly.
They all bounce around. Jalen Hurts was at Alabama and then went to Oklahoma and CeeDee Lamb. So if you could just imagine if you could just secure the rights to like all the picks from a certain school, like you could build a Super Bowl roster just based on a couple of schools.
And you already have the team chemistry too with half of them. So
right. Yeah. All right, man. Well, it's been fun again, and we still ended up at almost 2.5 hours for people. So don't think I want to challenge that 3 hour and 45-minute mark from last night. Talent is starting to dwindle a little bit. If I knew that one of those quarterbacks was going to go. If I knew one of those quarterbacks was going to go, then that would make it interesting. But, that'll give us I bet surely at least one of them, if not both of them, goes in the 3rd round. And then we'll have some stuff to talk about for tomorrow. So,
Well, you got to end us off. You're the host tonight. So
I do. Yeah, I'm not used to this. I'll just repeat what I said and say tune back in tomorrow. 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 Central. We'll give you our thoughts on hold on. Packers pick is in. We got to do the Packers pick.
Jacob Eason.
AJ Dillon, running back out of Boston College. So
interesting.
That's better. That's better. They could still use a wide receiver. But
oh my goodness.
Interesting, but at least it's some help for him. So, but let's think about this now.
Oh man,
they already had Jamal Williams, and then now we've added a 2nd round running back. How does that affect Aaron Jones?
Man, that's gonna hurt. I don't know because I mean, late second round pick. It depends, I think, on what the dynamic is gonna be. It could hurt. I think this might drop Aaron Jones to second round fantasy pick now instead of first round, but still.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I was iffy on him already at that first round spot. And now you add a second round running back. I mean, running back is a position where if they draft you in the second round or the third round, you may be starting, you know. So he's not going to start over Aaron Jones. But, yeah, that does nothing to make me like Aaron Jones' value any better. So, yeah, very interesting pick to leave off on. Chiefs pick's already in. I'm going to try to get out of here before we get the Chiefs pick in. But, yeah, we'll be back tomorrow morning a little earlier, 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 Central. We will dive into some of these a little bit more about how these, especially these running back picks, could affect some of the stock from guys who were pretty good contributors last year, like Mark Ingram, Marlon Mack, all those guys. And then hopefully we'll have something interesting from the third round, like where these quarterbacks are going. So tune back in. Thanks for joining us, and tune back in then.
See you later.